Today we will see what are the strings in Python, and then we have a few exercises. So generally, as of now, we already use dot format methods, right? Instead of that, we actually writing uh, that dot format. Instead of that, we actually use directly f in front of any string we want to print. So it is actually compiled at runtime, which is very fast compared to the dot format methods. Uh, so it's a simple that there is no syntax. I meant to say no specific syntax, but just we should add f in front of the string we want to print. So generally, what we used to do, name a dot. So here we used to give flavor brackets and then dot format, and then we used to uh, give the variable name, right? Uh, so similarly, in this format, in this f strings, so it's directly instead of writing all that dot format and giving, uh, so it is a straightforward method of printing of any string where we have to replace our variable value with in the string what we are printing, we want to replace the variable value. So we have to give.
Sure. Sorry if you're sharing screen. It's not
Oh,
visible.
sorry. Thank you. So again, okay. So what I'm saying, okay. Generally, as of now, we have used dot format method to to replace our variables values in the strings what we want to print. That's the one type of method, and instead of that, we can use f strings. F string is very convenient method, and it is actually implemented in the later, like it is available only after Python 3.6 version. There won't, if you are using before any Python 3.3 or 3.5, you can't use these strings. So this is mainly because one of the disadvantage of Python is it I meant to say Python is slow compared to other programming languages when time of execution. We don't see any difference here, but when you use it in real time, Java is very faster than Python. That's one of the disadvantage Python. Why? Because it interprets like it executes line by line. So that's why it's actually not preferably as of now using like later versions, like I meant to say previous versions. But after advancements in Python, actually many of us using Python, there are very minimal lag in current versions. As of now, the Python version is 3.12. There are multiple features and enhancements of the performance uh, the development is doing. So let me wait. So if uh, so, gen so let us print a multiple. I meant to say Python string string. So I'm giving name as my variable, and then I'm giving size. So now I can print it multiple ways. Like my name is. So this is one way which already we are using dot format name. So what it does, the format method, it replaces this empty flower brackets with the value of this. So it is like typing also, it's complicated, and it's sometimes if you want to use multiple variables, the readability will reduce. But when I am using the same, so I am giving f string, means the annotation is similar. So it is similar to this method, like format method. So what we are doing, we are just giving the flower brackets, I meant to say the name inside flower brackets. So here, so so uh, s- so when we run this program, it will print my name is the output will be similar. There is another method. It is called a traditional method. Just say my name is percentages. So it's like we are saying percentages as a string where the percentage s should be replaced with name. So wherever the percentage s is there, it will be replaced with the value of the variable. So when I save it and run it, so operand, okay, which okay, maybe it's old Python 2 syntax I mean. Sure. Okay, I will check this just. So before going to the traditional method, I just want. So here there is no issues, right? So it the same thing what we have did for dot format, and the same thing we have got it for name also, like f string also. So f string has another like we can evaluate the expressions in the f string itself. Like if you want to convert date time to this format, you can directly give the it's like we have already discussed like string format date, right? That when we discussed like a date time module, the similar way it actually converts instead of converting at the time of like converting before printing, we actually converted it. Instead of that, if you are using uh, this f string method, it actually converts inside the parameter. So just I'm keeping here. So it's like a date time, from date time module we are importing date time. So we are getting how what is the date time now, and we want in this format like year, month, date, hour, minutes, seconds. So so it with hyphen. So even in so we have given all this inside this flower brackets. If you see, and now is the variable what we have defined for datetime object. When I run it again, so the current date is today's date 2023 11:30. So it's like 2014. So we can directly do the addition and multiplication inside like arithmetic operations also we can do inside this f strings. So sometimes you want to not to write much code. So f strings are very useful while writing that. Um, so here why it's not doing check traditional writing wrong or something maybe. Okay, so I need to give inside the print. So if you see, it has taken some time for traditional methods, but the dot format and the f strings are very fast. So so as of now, we have taken only two examples, but we can do much with f strings. F strings are very powerful in Python. Even when you are trying to print all the print statements to logs, you have to use f strings. Otherwise, sometimes it will get uh, issue when you are printing logger files. So maybe we'll see going forward how to print all the statements into a log file when you are running any script for the debug purpose. So here the advantages, few advantages. So generally it is more readable. I mean, so mainly for readability and for fastness, we actually use f strings. So f strings are generally less prone to errors because we define everything inside the brackets only. So there are less chances where we can have uh, errors coming up when you are using f strings. So I will be sharing one PDF as well. Maybe that has more examples on the chart. Yeah. So going forward, we for printing of all the I meant to say in the exercises we will be using f strings going forward. So this is about f strings in Python. So now we will go to uh, here. Uh, so there is another exercise where we it depends on for loop. I meant to say any loop, but as of now they have given using for loop. Using for loop, we have to write a program that calculates average height of from a list of heights. So this is the requirements they have given. The average height can calculate by adding all the heights together. Like if they have given all 180, 124, all this to be added, and this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there are 7 heights in student heights. So now it's like average is like all the combination divided by 7. So we will get this. So we have to round off to the nearest whole number. So we will be using round. They have already said rounded. We will be using round function. So they have given the important instructions. We should not use sum or length functions in our answer. So this is mainly for loop. How to use for loop for this type of program. We generally don't use. They have given some accept converting input list to int. So we should convert. We have to take the input from the user. Uh, how many? I meant to say how many heights are there like in our class. Depending on that, we have to convert, and we have to convert all this to integers because whatever the input we have taken, it will be everything as strings. So they are saying you should for for loop only. So we will be using for loop. We should not use any sum or length because if you use sum like in list, it's just straightforward. It will give you this answer. So, but if we should not use this functions, then how we will be writing the code? That's the main aim of this project. So it's like so. For examples, they have given 156, 178, 181, 187. So it's like the list will be look like this one. So the output should be the total height number of students. We should get number of students also, but we should not use length. If you use length function, it will directly give what is the length of elements in that list. So but we should not use that. So and then we should have average height. So it's like 8057 divided by 5. It will give 171 point something. We will be rounding off to nearest whole number. So here the first thing is like we should ask. I will be starting with height, and then average height. Now I will be asking input to user, enter heights of students separated by space. So I am saying enter the heights of students separated by space. So now I student heights equal. So but uh, I should store it in a list, right? So before I meant to say, think banker allowed, right? So here what we have did, we actually split it with comma because we have asked everything to be splitted like entered by comma and space. So similarly, so this is how we have saved everything into a list. So similar type of pattern we follow here. So here instead of comma, we just give the split method. Even you can give it directly here as well, just for our. If you haven't given any like any argument inside the split function, it will take space as and to say the default argument, and then it will actually split it all the elements depending wherever the space is available. It will split it out and it will create a list. So even this will work if I given here this also fine. Anything for our understanding purpose, just I am keeping it here. Ah, I just so it is better to whenever you are coding, right? So it is better to add comments. So it is easy for someone who is checking your code. It is easy for them to understand easily. So because whatever user has entered, the as I'm saying, the input function will be the string data type. So we will be converting string to list using the split method. So but now again I go back to PPT. So it's like we have to get all the elements sum. So here what I will be doing. So instead of if you want directly get the sum, it'll like student height dot sum, it will give all the elements sum. But before that, because we are splitting strings to a list, all the elements will be in string method only, not in any other method. So it's like not in any other data type because we are splitting strings. So whatever the student heights we are entering, it will be strings only. Something like if we have entered, so the student height list will be looking like this. Like I'm just something like this. It stores like 101 is the it it is for us it's like a number, but it actually storing it as a string data type. So when we want to uh, do the any arithmetic operations, we have to convert it to any number data type. So how we will be doing that? Uh, so here I will be asking uh, about. So for simple you can use anyways. So leveraging on this one. So just I have asked already convert. No, here. So just I have asked this one how to convert each element in a list to a int data type in Python. Suggest me different ways to do it. So first thing is like we are taking another integer, uh, another empty list, and then we are taking for loop, and we are appending with all the converted elements, integer converted elements into another list. So this is another straightforward way. This is similar to this. We are just converting. So just I want to use this. So this, if you see, this is a variable. Like just we can give any variable like int of I for I in students dot height. So it's like we are accessing all the elements in the list one by one, and then we are converting. So it is a straightforward way. It is like list comprehension, what Ward has mentioned. So let's see. So before that, I want to print it out. Just check. Average height. So if I run Python, so I'm using two, not three, not four, not five. I'm just typing enter. So if you observe the print statements, right? So I have printed both string values and number values before converting. So if you see in the first list, it is everything is under comma, like a first office. So, but after converting, there are no first office, like all is like 102, 103, 104, 104. So that means it is actually working fine. So it is actually converting strings to integers. So now our code goes here. So if we want to add all that, you just generally you can directly do this way, dot sum. It will give you all the elements it added, and we will get all the when to say all the addition, like all the values, but we should not use this. So how we will be doing is we will be iterating over loop. So for student in student or numbers, before that I am just taking total height equal to 0. So now what I am doing, total height equal, so it's like I increment the, let me give a student height for, so it's like what we are doing, we are incrementing total height with the values of the student height. So whatever we are giving here, so it will come as, so it's like total height equal to is equal to, it's like just height equal to, total height plus student height. So generally, so we have initialized it at 0. So first, for the first iteration, if we have, just I will take this example. So if we have the first iteration, right? So it is like 0 plus 156. So the total height is 156. So in the second iteration, what it will do, the total height value is 156, and then this 156, and then the next element. So it's like the loop it's doing, right? So the next element it is like 178. So it's like 156 plus 178. This total sum, it will store it as an total height. So similarly, after the third iteration, so the loop will run until all the elements in the string is done or not. So just I am keeping it here. So I will be giving this as input, like this. I will give this as input and see whether it is printing my total height correctly or not. So we should come out of loop before printing the total height, because just I'm not, just I'm printing how much it will come. Just a new line to enter. So I should get 857 as my output. So yeah, I'm getting 857 as my output. So if you do calculation also, it is the same thing we are doing. So here the increment is like it is the similar kind of like once the sum is done, it will actually store the value, and then it will again add the next value of the iteration. Like here it will like if you take 0 1 2 3 4, so it's like 4 iterations, 5 iterations actually, 1 2 3 4 5 iterations it will do. So now what is the output we have to give? Like total height equal to. So now I will be using f string total height equal to total height. So, so this is clear, right? So what we are doing, we are accessing all the elements one by one, and then we are adding the elements one by one. So I think so, so if instead of writing for loop, if I want, just I will be printing. So if I run again the same command, and if I check, Okay, so I didn't close it, sir. Sorry, sir. This is straight. All right. I should. Mm, no attribute sum. Not sure. Oh, not sure. Okay. Just third. Python. Okay. Sorry. Instead of sum. Okay. Instead of using dot function. Okay. It is saying me to use sum of all the lists. Sure. So here the same thing auto 857 we are getting instead of using for loop if you use the sum function directly, yeah, we will be getting that. So now again so but we have got only the total height but we want to get the average height. So now what we will be doing, we need to get how many elements are there. Generally for strings to get length function we already used, like length of, if you give this length of this list variable, it will give how many elements are there inside that. But we should not use the length function. So again, I will be using student in for loop only. So I will define another number of students equal to 0. So number of students, what I will do here is I will increment by 1. So increment with 1. So when I loop for student, so the first element it is like 0 plus 1, the similar thing here. So number of student is like 1, and then the if for the next iteration it will loop over the next like 1 plus 1 2. So here we are incrementing with 1. So but here we are incrementing with the value of the student height. So that's the difference to count number of elements in the list and to get the sum of the elements. So just again print length of what we are doing, print each element to get the number of elements. So here I want to, so again I will go back here. I find number of students equal to 0. Oh, okay, sorry. So I have not closed. So here total height 5 and the elements we have entered is 5, 5. So it is like the print length of this 5, and if we the same thing we are getting via for loop also. So the output should be number of students. As to number of students equal to students plus. So now we want average height. So it is straightforward. We have to divide for average sum by total sum by number of students. But we have to round it off to whole number. No decimals, so we are not giving any point values to round. So it's like directly total height divided by students. And again, average height. So it's like total height, number of students, and average height. So mainly instead of using sum and length, we are actually using for loop to get all the sum and number of students. So if we see in the outline 857, if it is matching or not, we can see. So exactly matching. Average height 171. Yeah. Mm. Any questions in this? Like the average height. So similarly, the next project is like sometimes. Yeah. It is like again the similar I want to say similar kind of exercise, but we have to get the uh, greater ones wow, from the list, which is the greater. So it's like again we should not use min or max functions. So again, if you use the max or min functions, you will get directly whatever the least number and whatever the highest number. But instead of that, we should not use max or min functions. How we will be doing again, we will be trying to iterate over the loop, and then how to write the logic we will see. So the next project is So again, input is like I'm just copy pasting here. Like I will change the variables. Student score. So the same thing we are using here, converting strings to list, and then again this. So again, this is also we have to use arithmetic operators. We are actually converting. Now here I'm just defining max score equal to 0. Now what just for us for score in student score numbers. So what we will be doing is we here we actually do conditionings. So what I want to check is if max score is greater than the score we are looping over or not. So it's like if sorry if score is greater than, so we have to check with the max score, right? Score is greater than max score. So inside loop we are actually writing conditional statement, then a max score equal to score. So if uh, we have given iteration loops, the first thing, uh, so whatever the element we are actually taking it as 0 max score. So it's like whatever the element you will be giving here, in it will store it as if you have given 1, 2 or 100 or 99, it will store it as normal score. Then obviously it is like if you have taken 99, so the max score will be stored as 99. So again it will go back to loop and then it will check the next number is 89. If it is 89 greater than max score, like 89 greater than 99, it will check. So it is not true, then the max score won't change. But if the third loop is 100, 100 is obviously greater than 99, then the max score will again change. So to check how the max score is changing, you can give print statement here for the loops, or but if we check for what is the max score, you have to come out of loop and then you have to print. So here the indentations are very important. So we are looping over in a list and then we are checking whether my score is greater than the max score or not using the greater than operator. So print max score. So here I have given just how the these values will change vary accordingly. You can comment it out later. It's like this. Yes. Right. So I will be taking this one. So if you see the highest scores are changing, so the first it goes to 78. 78 is obviously greater than 0, and then the next time the max score is greater than 65. 65 is not greater than uh, 78, so the max score doesn't change, so it didn't went inside the if condition statement. And again if you go back, so then 78 is our max score value, and then in the next iteration it goes to 89. So then 89 is obviously greater than 78, so our max score is incremented to 89. And then again if you the next three one two the next two iterations it got skipped, and then after 89 is greater than 91, so it is not uh, sorry, 91 is greater than 89, so the condition got satisfied, and then it got incremented, the max score got the value changed to 91. And then again if 64 is greater than 91, it's not true, so it didn't went, the max score is still at 91. Again 89, 89 is not greater, 89 is not greater than 91, it's still at 91. So it's how the loop is performing. So to check that, we can just give a print statement, so you can comment it out also. Yeah. So here something dot should be, again we have to use the f string. If we run it again, it's what happened. So that's it. So we are getting. So you can directly use max of student scores. It will directly give you the 91. So that's the direct function, but at the back, if you don't want to use the max function, then this is how we will be doing, like using for loop. So any questions for this?